Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. And tonight's going to be a fun one. We're going to do a little car stuff, but I got this package yesterday and I didn't know who it was from. And so I figured I would put it out there and see if we can find out who it was from. There's no note or, Merry Christmas, even though it's end of January. Nothing like that. So I was trying to figure out who it was from. It's very fun and it is car related. So I wanted to bring it to you guys and show it to you because it's pretty cool. I also think it'd make a great gift if you have someone who is, a mechanic, a big car fan, whatever. Still waiting on Rockstar. They are still impossible to find in Southwest Florida. So I spend most of my days hunting Rockstar. So we got a message pop up here. Hey, Liz. So here's the box I got. And it just has, USPS to Port Charlotte and UPS to my address here in Port Charlotte. It's something cheater. I don't know what it is. But there was actually a wrench set inside. I folded it all up. Oh, Carb Cheater is the tape that's on the box. So this is the wrench set, and I'll tilt it up so that I'm not, because otherwise I'm like hunched over and I'm like, hey, you guys, here it is. This is cool. I'm 6'1", so it's a little tough when, trying to do all this stuff. All right. So it's a nice case. And these are the wrenches that are inside of it. So this looks like a normal wrench set, right? And this is from Dingus. These are the Dingus wrenches, I guess. So we'll go small to big, which is kind of like front to back, right? So, and I'll just set this here. And we'll just go one by one. This looks like a normal combination wrench, correct? So this is where it gets really funny. So I'm gonna try and zoom in for you guys. I need a better background. Hang on a sec. Let me find something plain background that I can use for this. I don't have anything plain. Hang on. Just like, I don't know, maybe a paper towel works. Let's try this. Of course it doesn't work. No, you can kind of read it. This says 6.35 millimeters. And then on this side, 2/16. I don't know what 2/16 means. None of this. Am I using a different audio mic? Yeah, we have new mics on here. Hopefully it sounds okay. I didn't do any of the voice changing or anything like that. Now, the air handler, here in Florida, we don't have furnaces. We have air handlers. We have super badass air conditioners. You should see the AC unit outside. It's incredible. But the air handler is running right now, and it has a little heater element in it because it is 40 degrees outside. So, by the way, there's supposed to snow in Tampa tomorrow, which would be absolutely unreal. Yeah, Jim Cantori, it was on Clearwater Beach this afternoon. So, they're actually expecting they're expecting snow in Tampa, like to stick on the ground, not just flakes in the air and melt. There is a possibility of me actually getting flakes in the air here, which is nuts because it's supposed to snow down in Naples and Marco Island, which is about an hour south of here. And this is instead of lake effect snow, we're getting Gulf effect snow. It's the cold air comes down and the Gulf moisture comes in and it turns into snow. Yeah, does it sound weird because of where it's at on the hoodie? Also, I'm kind of a deep voice, so it might be a little weird. So, okay, so this one is 6.35 millimeters nothing matches with that. That's not like a normal size. But okay, so let's go to the next wrench. So the next one, these are great. This next wrench, if you guys can, I wish you guys could read that. I'm trying to do it where you can read it. But the problem is these are really nice chrome plated and they just reflect. See, that's you guys. That's the live stream. So this one on this side says nearly 8 millimeters. And then on the back side, it says 7.94 millimeters. Oh, if I do it in an angle, it shows up pretty okay. So nearly 8 millimeters. Let me go through these other ones. They're hysterical. This one is 96 256. And on the backside, it's 9.53 millimeters. I have no clue what the hell this stuff is going to fit. Hey, who's here? Try to put your hand behind the wrench, putting it up behind the camera. So, does that work? That's a good idea, Nikki. Okay, so that works a little bit better. You guys can still see it, but it's still reflective. And then on the other side, there you go. 96 256. I didn't know that was a measurement. Oh, got my buddy Eric here. No, this is not a sponsor. This was a gift from someone. So on this, we have 0.4375. 0.4375. And on the back side, it's 11.11 millimeters. Okay, and these are all, they all have dingus on them. Okay, this one is really funny too. Okay, so this one says half. That's all it says is half on both of them. So for both sides, both sides it says half. And then on this side, it's 12.7 millimeters, which is half an inch. It's actually 12.6, 12.652. Is that right? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, okay, so we keep going. This one's awesome. These guys are really great. Okay, so the normal, we have 14.29 millimeters. Again, not a real size. I haven't tried these on any bolts either. And then on the other side, we have the Roman numerals. So I'm trying to get where it reflects back black. There you go. Kind of. It's hysterical. What is this? This is 9. It says 9/16 in Roman numerals. So if you can read that, there you go. You see 9/16 in Roman numerals, and that's 14.29 millimeters. This one actually might be a 9/16. Let's just check if they're saying 9/16 in Roman numerals. This is just really funny to me. So I don't know why it's so funny to me, but it is. This says 14.49, and this says 14.29. So this is 14.5. Let's check our 9/16 here. This is our regular 9/16. And it's the same thing. So it is actually a 9/16. So I mean, these are really nice wrenches. The crappy Swan Lake wrenches that I have down here are not as nice, but these dingus wrenches are actually really nice. So This one does spec out to a 9/16, which is cool. Okay. You just have to be able to read Roman numerals. We keep going up here. All right. So on the back side, wait, how do we do this before? There we go. 15 point, what is this? 15.88 millimeters, which once again is not a real size. No one actually does that. And then on this side, it's pi fifths. I don't know what pi fifths is. What the hell is pi fifth? I don't know. 3.141596. Sorry, habit. I don't know what that is. By the way, I'm not Daniel Tammet. I'm not reciting pi to 22,000 places. Okay, this one's really good. On the back side, we have 17.46 millimeters. And then on this side, we have, what is that? 5.58. What the hell is 5.58? How far is that? Is that a little bit more than 5/8? What is that? Oh, someone had to bring up the Bentley. Ouch. All right. That's why these are hysterical, because you'll pick them up out of the kit and you will just laugh. You'll read it. If you've worked on any kind of vehicle, if you've ever used a combination wrench in your life, you'll pick this up, you'll look at the size, and you'll just laugh, because it's not, it's just not normal. All right, so we've got our metric on the back here. Where's that? Okay, 19.05 millimeters. And then they do in special English, 3/4. Tree. TREE. QRTR. These are awesome. All right, so I'll give you guys a funny tree reference. Oh, sorry. On this side, it actually says race cam. So I don't know what a race cam says. I guess that's 3/4. Does this measure out to 3/4? I guess we can check this one too. These are hysterical. So I'll tell you guys, while I'm measuring these, I'll tell you guys a funny story. So my dad was Austrian, and that means I grew up with the Terminator. My dad sounded exactly like Arnold. Come on, do it. Let's get out. Get to the chopper, all that stuff. That's what I grew up with. 1921. What's my 3/4? Come here. 19.37. That's odd. We'll check this guy. 19.22. 19.25. So yeah, it's basically 3/4. So my dad was Austrian, and he used to count 1, 2, 3. He couldn't say 3, so it was 1, 2, 3. And we used to make fun of him when we would go skiing. We were like, "Hey, Dad, are we going to go 3 skiing today?" Get it? Anyway, that's funny. So I got to say, my favorite out of all of these is the pi fifths. I'm sorry, that's my favorite. You guys can pick your favorite out of all of those. If I can, I'll try and get a picture of all these together, and I'll post it on social media. But these are absolutely hysterical. They're from Dingus, and they're really funny, and it's a really cool gift, especially for someone who is mechanically inclined. It's a very nice pouch, and it does roll up nicely, and you can keep them very safe. I'm going to keep these with, I have a set of very, very, very expensive Japanese screwdrivers that I keep in a locked case in my shop in Ohio. I know that's weird to keep screwdrivers in a locked case, but that's how nice these things are. So I'm going to keep these with the screwdrivers. Make sure that they only come out for special occasions. when you've got that weird bolt that you don't know what the hell size it is, that's when you grab these wrenches. Pi fifths. What the hell is pi fifths? How far is that? 3/5? Is that 6/10? 3/5? What? Fifth third bank? What? Oh, my alarm's going off. Hang on. Stop. You got to do it twice. It's Apple. They're not sure that you really wanted to do it the first time. So they help you out. We're helping. I'm helping. Yeah. 3/4 is great. Yeah, Southwest, you had a question in here. Let me see if I can find it. Good sub, easy to install. Sub like subwoofer, or sub like sub sandwich, or sub like subframe, or sub like short for Subaru. You'll have to ask Nikki about Subaru stuff. She's the pro here on that. Let's see. Yeah, the 3/4 is hysterical. At least we're not talking G-Wagons. Oh my God. Ah. Triggered. Bentley, G-Wagons. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Not all fun stuff there. Hang on a sec. Whoa, come back here. Hang on one second. I'm coming back. Okay. So those are actually very cool. They're a very cool gift. When I find out more information on them, I'll put a link in the description and let you guys know where to score them. They're really funny. Oh, you rewatched the fiber optic? Oh my God. He used a front face from a trashed dishwasher to make the housing for the control box for those stupid fiber optic lights. Should just, first off, should just sell that vehicle and not do anything to it. Second off, you would think a military vehicle would have tons of room in it to stash shit, guns and magazines and, you know, all sorts. Probably can't say any of that stuff on YouTube. What do you say? Things that hurl projectiles through the air with pyrotechnics? I don't know what. And you would think that a military, like a born and bred military vehicle, would have tons of stash spots. It doesn't. There's nothing in there. There's no room in that G-Wagon for bullshit. It's just a terrible vehicle. Like I tell people, unless you are a Colombian drug lord or a Middle Eastern dictator, there's absolutely no reason to own a G-Wagon. They're not good vehicles. They're not cool. They handle like shit. Yeah, you can get them with a ton of power, but try to make a left or right. It's worse than a Suzuki Samurai. It's terrible. It's an awful, awful vehicle. So please don't. Please don't. I know that all of the, I know all the Instagram bimbos drive them and all this stuff, and that doesn't mean that they're good. Okay? Yeah, I promise. Box with uncomfortable seats. Yeah, I can go with that. It's not. It's not. It's a good military vehicle, and that's fine because those guys are doing 40 miles an hour and doing whatever Colombian drug lords and Middle Eastern dictators do, and that's fine. they're not good. They're not. There's way, way, way better options out there. What did I see this weekend? I saw a Maybach, the Maybach motorhome. It's based on the Mercedes Sprinter chassis, and holy shit, was that thing nice! Really nice. Now that's probably 3 times the price of a G-Wagon, but way cooler ride. Yeah, a Jeep is actually a much better option, much better option than a G-Wagon, and you save a shit ton of cash. A lot of people are doing the G-Wagons because they can write them off. They do them as a business expense, and so they get this. It weighs a lot, and that's why they get the tax break, all of this stuff, and that's why people are doing G-Wagons, because they're writing it off. They're not buying it outright. Don't. And neither are Colombian drug lords or Middle Eastern dictators. They're just taking them, correct? So they're like, hey, we'll just take this. So yeah, they're not good vehicles, you guys. Sorry. I know people are like, oh, but this clown I watch on YouTube, drove one all through the desert and it survived. That's great. That's awesome. What you don't see is what's behind the camera. And there are 2 recovery vehicles back there. There's another 6 guys in support, making sure that thing gets out of wherever it's at. So when you're watching this stuff, please remember that what you're seeing, it's not like this, like what I'm doing. Like there's no one else here. So there's no one, like I'll spin it around. There's a water heater in the door to my house. So yeah, it's different when you're watching that stuff. It's different. Just remember that when you're watching it. Okay, so is it the G-Wagon that can do a donut in the same spot? You can actually do that in a lot of different vehicles, and it's not that hard. The G-Wagon, some of them have a cool computer program that can actually make it hop to, it like jerks the drivetrain, which is very hard on the drivetrain in the ABS. It'll jerk the drivetrain and it'll hop it so that it can get out of sand or mud or stuff like that. But there's also, there's a Chinese SUV that can do that, and also I believe the Tesla Cybertruck can also do that. So I saw something else on, I think it was on Instagram, might have been on Facebook. It was on social media, and it was, someone wrote an article about raccoons trying to get into the bed of a Cybertruck, thinking that it was a dumpster. And so they're trying to associate the Cybertruck with a dumpster. That is piss poor journalism, first off, because raccoons don't give a shit if it's a dumpster or a Cybertruck or a Kia Soul or a 747. They don't care. What they care about is what they're smelling inside the container. Whatever is in there, they want to eat. And that could be a dumpster. That could be your, Yeti cooler that's inside your Cybertruck that has all your picnic supplies. That could be whatever it is. Raccoons aren't confused thinking a Cybertruck is a dumpster. They're pissed off they can't get into whatever is inside to get to the food. So beware of shitty journalism. It's everywhere. You can't, I know you're trying to rip on the Cybertruck, and that's fine. Go ahead. Come up with something legit. Okay? Raccoons trying to get food. They're not confusing it for a dumpster. Spare me. So we were talking about, and Southwest, you brought this up the other night. We were talking about doing mods that don't require Kindig level money, where you take in 2 buckets of rust and a duffel bag full of hundreds, and then a year later get a SEMA show winner. Not everybody does that. So we talked about doing dollar store mods. So a quick one I thought about yesterday was the battery terminals on your car. A lot of people have that, the corrosion that forms. It's actually sulfuric. It's actually, it's basically battery acid. It's corrosion that forms from, it's electrical corrosion. And it's bad. For the love of God, don't touch it. And this is so sad. I have to say this. Don't eat it. Don't snort it. Don't get it on your hands. That stuff is really caustic. It is really nasty. It is gross. It's not good for you. It's not good for the animals. It's not good for anyone. It is a chemical reaction that you really don't want. There's also another one. It's copper. What is it called? Oh, God. I can't remember what it's called, but there's two chemical reactions. One of them is lead and one of them is copper. So anyway, don't get that stuff on your hands. Wear gloves when you're working with battery terminal nastiness, okay? If the battery terminals are clean, that's fine. But again, those terminals are lead. You really shouldn't be handling them with your bare hands anyway. So yeah, we're going to talk about how to not get corrosion on those and how to keep your batteries from forming that corrosion. Now, there's a lot of reasons that corrosion can form. Overcharging, undercharging, the battery life is now limited. There's a lot of reasons you can get that corrosion, that sulfur corrosion and usually it's on the positive terminal. That's where your juice is headed, and that's where it sounds weird. It's attracted to the positive terminal versus the ground. So you don't want to touch that stuff. Don't eat it. Don't lick it. Jesus Christ. It's so sad you have to say all that stuff. So, and you have to say it because someone's done it. That's the worst part, man. That is anyway. All right. So I'm going to show you on the Viper what I have, and then I'm going to show you a couple of options that are super cheap, and you can keep them for multiple batteries. So they'll last years and years and years, but they're going to save you from having to deal with that corrosion. So give me a second. I'm going to grab a light, and then I'm going to move you guys over there to the trunk of the Viper because it's dark back there. So, and these are really cheap. These are $1 or $2. They're not very expensive. You can find them at local stores. You can find them on Amazon. If you've got multiple cars like me, you go to Amazon and order like 3 or 4, for less than $10. And they'll last the life of your car. So let me get this open. Let's see if I can get a light in here where it doesn't blind you guys or me. We do not have a lot of steel options back here. And, oh, here we go, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Kinda. Okay. It's mostly plastic back there and aluminum, so. What do we got? That's fair. Yeah, it's a copper sulfate. I forget what it's called. There's an actual, it's hydro something. It has to do with water and copper, and I can't remember the chemical term. I am not AVE. I don't have a master's in chemistry or chemical engineering like he does. So I don't remember the names of this stuff. I just remember it's copper-based or lead-based. And I'm burping up the fettuccine Alfredo I had for dinner, which is fantastic, by the way. So we're in the trunk of the Viper because the battery is in the trunk. The battery is actually, it's right here, but I'm going to move stuff. So we have to take out our spare tire. This is a spare tire in the Viper. By the way, I just noticed this in Daytona. How old is this air compressor? It's original. It actually, the plastic, the rubber on the cord is actually disintegrating. So this thing isn't really good. If I take the cord out and get a new cord, that could work. But yeah, just that rubber disintegrates and it all comes apart in pieces. So we'll set that to the side. And then in the Viper, you have this nice mat. that comes out, and he kind of folds out of the way. You can take the whole thing out if you want. My friend Chris made me this really, really nice battery cover. This is carbon fiber with the Fangs logo, which is kind of cool. And I changed out the Viper, the OEM cover actually has these like 2-inch long bolts. There's 5 of them here, and I changed them out to DeZeus fasteners. There's no reason to have those gigantic bolts in there, and it takes forever to get to the battery. Now you can access the battery from underneath the car through the rear valance, but this is way, way quicker. These are just quarter turn fasteners, and it's like what they do for body panels on race cars. So Chris made me this really nice part. I put some weather stripping on the back. Oh, it got ripped. And these are the DeZeus fasteners. They're just quarter turn. These are super cool. Now we have our battery down here. And of course, where I put the light is blocking, whoops, pretty much everything. Stay there. Don't you come down on my head. So positive terminal, negative terminal, battery hold down. As you can see, the rear valance is right here. Air comes through this way. But what I have on these are a little bit different than what I'm going to show you. I have some pictures on my phone I'll show you. And I have the Noco hooked up, so they're a little different. This one is a wraparound style, and it's kind of like a Band-Aid. It wraps around and it closes over the terminal. I also have one on the hot side. This one has a terminal cover, which also helps prevent corrosion coming from the outside. So any water or anything, it keeps most of that moisture off of there. And that guy stays on there. He stays on there. These guys prevent that corrosion from forming. And the date here tells me that this battery is 4 years old. It is getting close to replacing time. Almost 4 years old. So we're going to have to do a new battery in here. I thought I had a diehard in here. I guess I have an Duracell. Yeah. So these are super cheap. You can get the wraparound style, which is a little bit more expensive, but I'll show you the ones. They're little donuts, and they might call them battery terminal donuts. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. They're super, super cheap. They're incredibly easy to install. See, this is how fast it is to put the battery cover back on versus zooming all those screws in. It's a pain. I'll put this back here. If I have to hot wire it one day, I have to hot wire it. Whoops, it goes the other way. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about with the battery terminals. I'm going to bring you guys back out and then move this light. I'll show you some pictures of the stuff I'm talking about for regular battery terminals. And give me a second to close this. Since we do have a 4-year-old battery, we want to save it as much as possible. So let me grab my phone. And again, these are super, super cheap. Oh, got it. I got it. I know who sent it to me. So thank you very much, Eric, for the belated birthday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, early Valentine's Day present. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's called the Dingus Wrench Set, and it's from Carbureted Innovations. So I'll put a link in the description after the live stream tonight. You guys can go check it out. Thank you very much, Eric. That's super cool. So these are what you are looking for. Of course, red and black. Now, a lot of them you're going to see at the store are going to be green and red. I have no clue why they offer green and red. It is not Christmas. I don't know why they do green and red. look for red and black. And you can call me anal retentive, whatever. It's ridiculous. So many of these come in red and green, and it's so silly. They also come, you can kind of see, you can split them up. So there's like a center ring and an outer ring. So if you have the side terminals on your battery, you can take off the outside ring and use the center. But if you have standard terminals, just put them on top and then put your battery cable on there. That's it. They're a couple of bucks, and they're going to help prevent that corrosion. They might not stop it, depends where you live. In Ohio, I've seen fiberglass rust. That's not a joke. I have a piece in my shop. I'll show it to you guys. I have a piece in my shop of fiberglass from a Toyota MR2 that has rust in it. So it won't prevent everything, but it will prevent early corrosion or early sulfurizing of your battery terminals. So those little guys work great. There's tons of other stuff you can use. Petroleum jelly is another one that a lot of people use, and that can work. The problem is it collects dirt really well, and that can also cause then not a great connection. There's a lot of other stuff that you can use. I've seen guys use Scotch-Brite pads, just trim a little circle and put it on there, and that can help. Those are felt, and they're non-ferrous and they're non-conductive. That's why they work really well. So there's other stuff you can use, but those are the best. They're just a couple bucks each. If you have multiple cars, get a couple sets of the red and black ones. Usually they come in, I think it's 1, 2, and 5 packs. I think I saw a 10-pack on Amazon. So for 10 pair, but you can usually get 1 pair, 2 pair, or 4 pairs. So look for those packs on Amazon. They're super cheap, or wherever, your auto parts store. Your auto parts store is probably going to have red and green. When you go in there, ask them why the hell they have red and green when standard electrical wiring across the automotive industry has red and black for positive and negative, and completely confuse everyone behind the counter. Then the manager comes out and he calls security. That was just me? Okay, anyway. So yeah, that's the quick, super cheap mod that you can do to your car that actually is also preventive maintenance. It doesn't give you any more horsepower or better braking or anything like that, but it's one of those things that's going to help your car start every single time. There's nothing worse than being at the track and you're like, brr, brr, brr. Or you're at a meet and everyone's like, damn man, cool car. Brr, 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 brr. Hey, anybody have a boost box? No one likes that. So yeah, that's why it's helpful to have a solid battery every single time. And that will help keep the charge in your battery. So I got a bunch of other questions here. I really wish newer batteries were easy to access. Yeah, caddies, red and blue. Oh God, all right. So they're gonna do their own type of wiring. Awesome. I love it when they just make shit up. They're like, well, it's been like this forever, and that's the standard, but we're gonna change it. And just on this one model, not across the line, just this one car, just this one trim package, it's gonna be just that. Stop. The newer cars, it is a lot harder to access the batteries. Also, on newer cars, if you have the start-stop, horrific start-stop systems, I know engineering explained, I know he told us how that does save gas, but it actually doesn't. And we end up paying a lot more in parts and maintenance and overall costs for the car. So the amount that we save in gas isn't close to offsetting the cost of maintenance, repair, and initial price on the car. So, and there was a guy in, I want to say he was in Australia. I can't remember where he was, but he had it in his Subaru. He had the start-stop system, and he calculated over 100,000 kilometers. Now, it's not miles, that's kilometers. And it turned out he saved a total of, I want to say it was like 15 Australian dollars over the course of 100,000 kilometers. So what are you saving? By the way, your starter on those cars, about 4 times the price of a new starter. And you have to have another battery. So you're paying $300 for a battery plus another $300 for another battery. That's if you buy it aftermarket. If you get it from the dealership, they're about $400 or $500. So that's great that we're going to save a few pennies in gas, but we actually pay for it. The actual true cost is not equal to that. Oh, but we're saving carbon footprint. You can stop with that shit too. The volcanoes that erupt daily throughout the world, what we do in cars doesn't even come close to what volcanoes put out. So we're going to be okay. Just don't do dumb stuff like that, because start-stop is extremely dangerous, and don't. It's very hard on vehicles. It's dangerous, expensive. It sounds like a great idea, but it's not. So stop doing that shit. And so if you have a start-stop system, you have 2 batteries. You have one for the engine for normal driving, and then you have one just for that system. And usually that one will be completely hidden. It'll be under the passenger seat, under the driver's seat, or in the back, like underslung somewhere. It'll be really hard to find. They make batteries, they stash them really well, but the problem is maintaining them, getting them out, putting new ones in is very difficult. So if you do have a start-stop system, you'll probably want to get 2 sets of those anti-corrosion rings. Those are, yeah. Sorry, I went off on a little anti-stop start tangent there. I have it in my Jeep, and it is terrible. Absolutely terrible. It's the very first thing. I turn on the Jeep, turn off the start-stop. It is so bad. It is so bad. Hopefully they're killing that off, I think. Someone said that they realized that it was a complete waste of time and money and not really saving the planet, so they're going to kill it, which is a good idea. The dreaded pain, the AUX 14 battery load Chrysler's replacement. Yep. Oh, do they shove both batteries under one seat? There's a good idea. So originally you only weighed, let's say, 180 pounds. Now all of a sudden the driver weighs 240 pounds because there's 2 batteries under his ass. So now you've offset the weight of the car, moved everything to the driver's side. Come on, you guys. Come on. So yeah, just not a good system. And there's also a safety concern. When you have multiple batteries, you will have multiple leakages. So if it's in an accident, you now, instead of having 1 battery explode all over the ground, you're going to have 2. So it's just not a good way to go. But yeah, you can help save your car by doing that. And like I said, there's nothing worse than being at the track and you're like, all right, you guys, let's go. Or sorry, or in this car, nothing worse. So try and keep a maintainer in your car. Get a good maintainer like a NOCO. The NOCO Geniuses are awesome maintainers. That's what I use in all my rides. And keep the battery well charged and well exercised, I guess is the best word. And then throw on those little rings, and that'll help prevent corrosion. Now, on the Miata, I have a little go-kart battery, and I have the quick releases. Now, you can add them with the quick releases, so that works too. We'll do the same thing on the limo. Now, on the limo, I have 4 batteries on the limo. So, yeah. We'll be doing it on that. But in the rear, we're going to be using lithium-ion batteries. We're going to be using lithium batteries. So lithium batteries don't tend to not do the same type of corrosion. Now, you still have the lead terminal on a lot of them. Some of them you have actually nice gold-plated terminals where you're not going to get that corrosion. But on ones that do have, I guess, post terminals,
just check to see what it is, if it's lead, whatever it is. But usually on lithium-ion batteries, you're going to have a different type of metal that's not going to create that crystallized sulfuric acid. So lithium-ion, you're pretty much okay on. AGM, flooded, all of that stuff. If you have the lead terminal posts, you're going to probably have that corrosion unless you do something to correct it. So, yeah. Copper sulfate. Now I have to look that up because it'll only take me a second. Lead sulfate, anhydrous copper sulfate. So it's copper sulfate sans water, or I guess that's not and, it's because of water. I guess that's the best way to, or from water. I think that's, yeah, anhydrous means from water sulfate. So you get that from the copper either inside the batteries or terminal, or from the connector itself if it's copper. So you get the combination of the two. And also you're combining metals. You have lead and usually have copper in the connector, and you start running juice through those two, it's easy to get corrosion. So just put those little guys on there and it helps prevent all that stuff. That's it. That's the quick dollar store trick for tonight. Like I said, Southwest had the great idea for, someone who doesn't have huge amounts of money. What can we do to modify our cars or personalize our cars without spending gigantic amounts of money? That's one of the things. And that's not necessarily personalizing it, but it's preventative maintenance, and it's going to help the life of the car. It also helps in, reduce embarrassing situations when you're at the track and everyone's heading out and you're like, boo, boo, boo. Billy, go grab the jump box. That sucks. It sucks. Because then you're out on track and you're like, is the alternator going to hold us this whole time? Is that battery going to last? I guess we're about to find out. Or if you're at a meet or a show or something and you go to leave a burger, shit, and you jump it, and then you're driving home and you're like, oh, am I going to make it all the way back? Watching your headlights dim, come back, dim, your alternator's working. So yeah, that's why it's nice to have a full battery all the time. That's what maintainers are for, and that's why we do stuff like this with these protective pads. So if you guys have any other suggestions regarding, dollar store mods, I'd love to hear them. I'm working on a list. I've been writing down a list the last couple of days. It's been freezing here. Like I said, it's really cold. So it's a good time to get inside stuff done because we're going to be spending a ton of time outside. As soon as it snows here, I cannot believe I'm saying that. If it snows here, I'm going to freak out. I just left all that shit. 21 inches of snow at my house in Ohio. It's unbelievable. And it was 8 below this morning. Yeah, I missed that. So yeah, if you guys have other suggestions for that, I'm gonna get a nice list together, and we'll try and do them one by one. We'll get those out to you guys, and if I can just show them on a car, I'll definitely do that. Otherwise, I'll grab pictures from the internet and show you guys what that is. We'll try and keep them under, $5 or something, maybe $10. Just keep it super cheap. And it's something you can do in a day. None of these would be like, 6-week projects, engine outs or anything like that. It'll be super cheap. You can do it in one day or an afternoon, something like that. And usually they can just be one person. I don't think a lot of them are going to be multi-person unless someone has to like start a car or hold a brake or something like that. But yeah, if you guys have ideas, definitely shoot them my way. I'll include them in the list, and I'll definitely give you a shout out. In the description, I'll put a link to the Dingus wrenches. I'm glad you guys enjoyed those. Those were Those are absolutely hysterical. And it's no surprise that my friend Eric sent them to me because um, he has a very similar sense of humor, and there's a reason we're friends, right? So yeah, he thought those were pretty funny, and I agree. So thank you, Eric, for those. That was very cool, and thank you guys for hanging out tonight. And my mouth is totally dry. I need something to help it. Sorry, that was like. Did you guys ever see Wayne's World? I think it was Wayne's World 2, where he's like, "We would never sell out." He holds the Pepsi can and drinks it. I don't remember the other spots they had in there. It was like Pizza Hut and Mr. Coffee and stuff like that. It was pretty funny. Very, very funny product placement. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. And we're gonna get back to doing more hardcore car stuff once I shoveled the driveway. No, I put the cover on the limo today. Like, it's not really gonna snow here, right? And then Jim Cantori shows up in Clearwater. So yeah, never can tell. So yeah, we'll get back to doing more hardcore car stuff. Also, I got to talk to Mark. He's been sick, but I think his Mustang is on its way down here, which is a cool thing. We'll do a walk around with Mark's badass street Mustang. That thing's got some juice. So we'll do that once his car gets here. And we'll have the limo in here. We'll be doing a bunch more stuff on the limo, some wiring and some plumbing, and get that thing running around and happy again. And I think that's about it for tonight. Hopefully you guys are good with that. I appreciate you all coming in and saying hi and throwing out those ideas. I appreciate it. What else we got here? Pizza Hut. Yeah, Pizza Hut was in there. Yeah, Jeep Grand Cherokees do have that. They have a second battery under the passenger seat, and it's totally hidden. It's really hard to find. So yeah, like I said, I don't get paid for any of this. I'm gonna keep doing this as long as I can. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. And if there is something you want to see in here, if there's a car or truck or tank or whatever you guys want to see, let me know, and I'll talk with friends and see if we can get it in here. And I definitely, once the weather breaks, I definitely want to do more stuff outside and mobile. So we'll be doing more mobile live streams, and I definitely want to do more stuff location-wise. I mean, here in the shop is great. I love being here, but I also want to be out there with the people that are doing all the cool stuff as well. So we can see all the cool stuff that they do that's, different from me or different from you, or, there's always cool stuff out there. So I would definitely want to go portable and take a look at all of that stuff. So those will do a lot more when the weather breaks. And trying to think what else we have. Tonight I've got to go through all the videos I took from Daytona. Most of them are of the Aston Martin Valkyrie. I would say I have almost 100 videos on my phone of the Valkyrie. I have 100 videos. I think probably 80 of them are of the Valkyrie, and then I got some of the other cars. So yeah, I gotta do some trimming. And I also have a bunch of editing I'm doing from the GoPros from the Ultima 600. So it's kind of hard though, because like I want to put all of it out there, but a lot of it is kind of boring. It's sort of doing laps and avoiding ding dongs and all of this, and I'm not sure that you guys would enjoy all of that. But I might do a long version just for those who want to watch the entire, like from paddock all the way onto the track, test lap for the transponder and waiting there, all the horns honking and then everyone launching. If you guys really want to see all of that, I can leave it in there. But I'll probably do a trimmed down version that just shows highlights, you know, who hit me, who I hit, who passed me, who I passed, watching Speedy Cop zoom right by, watching Garrett just walk right on by. Yeah. I'll put up the highlights, which I think folks will enjoy a lot more than kind of the boring, you know, me sitting there playing air drums on the steering wheel during one of the red lights. So yeah, it's not very much fun. Unfortunately, I did not get video of the last red light where I took off my gloves and turned on the AC and just trying to get chill. And then they go, race is ready, 3, 2, 1. And I'm like, oh shit. And try and get my gloves out of my lap and get back in the race and trying to put my gloves on for 2 laps. And I forgot I had the AC on the rest of the race. It was one of those things I couldn't let go of the wheel to reach over to turn it off. So I just left it on. I'm bummed I didn't get that on video, which was fun. Next race, I might just leave the AC on the whole time. It was actually kind of nice. I'll admit, it was kind of nice. And it'll probably be hotter because it's going to be in October. So it'll definitely be warmer. So maybe we just run AC. It's a kick-ass car. Until that condenser gets punctured, it's got AC. So yeah, we'll do more Ultima stuff too, which I think you guys enjoy a little bit. And I'll definitely get that video up. The video from the back is definitely not as good as the video from the front. So the video from the back is really only going to be highlights. I don't want to put the whole thing up there because also the battery lasted a lot longer, so it stayed running. Like I didn't shut it off when I finished the race and came into the paddock. I let it roll. So there's actually me loading it on the trailer and then us driving out of Freedom Factory and Mark and I cruising down 64 and getting on 75, going back to the house. It ran until the battery died. So that would be kind of boring. You guys would not enjoy that. So I'll get this stuff trimmed up and get it up there as soon as I can. And I really appreciate you guys. Thanks to all the new subscribers. All you guys, I get the little notification from YouTube in my email, XYZ subscribe. And I see those pop up all the time, and that's awesome. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. And if there's stuff you want to see me do, like I said, shoot me a message. I'm very easy to get in touch with. And I guess that's it. We'll do some more stuff later on this week. And we're going to try and get the limo in here. And hopefully Mark's car gets here this week. That would be kind of cool. So I'll check with him, and we'll see what else we've got. Don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It is really important for them, but it's far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. I will catch you either tomorrow night or Friday night. All right. Have an awesome night. We'll see you guys. And girls. Damn, that car's still really dirty, isn't it? All right. We'll get it cleaned.